Hi, so excited to be together again in our new semester. This is our second semester and it's a new year. So we need all new songs on piano, new songs on recorder, new everything. And this semester we will do something really interesting. We're going to see how music has changed through history. Do you know what's history? History is things that happened long time ago, long time ago. So there's many times in history because things happened a long time ago, right? So we're going to see how music has changed all through history. Because one thing is for sure, music has always been part of man's life. Since people existed, music existed. People need music. We need music. So I want to explore how music is different now from a long time ago, because music has changed a lot. Just like our way of dressing up is very different. Now we dress very different from a long time ago. We use our hair very different. Everything changes with time. Music too. So we want to see how music has changed. Now, the first times are called primitive times. When people have nothing except nature, those times are called primitive. Primitive times is when people just live out of nature and everything they needed to make with their own hands. There were no stores, there were no houses, there was not HEB to go buy food, there was nothing, no TVs for sure. So how did people live in primitive times? Well, let's think about it. How did people live? Well, if you don't have anything except nature, how do they make their houses? What do you think? How did people make their houses at the beginning? With sticks, with straw, with clay. In different parts of the world, they made them different, right? How about clothing? What did they wear for clothes? Well, animal skin at the beginning, and then they discovered how to weave cotton. Cotton is a plant, so they took cotton, and if you get the cotton from the plant and you kind of weave it like you make like threads like that, they discovered how to make threads and they made clothes like that. And how about food? Where did they get their food? There was no stores. Do you know? They were hunting, they would hunt animals, or fruits and vegetables from nature. Everything they needed, they had to find it in nature. I have a few pictures of primitive times that I want to show you, and it also depends in what cultures they were. These are primitive paintings people have found. And I chose these ones because they seem to be having some kind of instruments or making some kind of music. They found these paintings in caves. So even when people live in caves, they painted and they have music. Look at this one. You can see the cave here, and you can see these paintings. And you can see how they made, see? Those were cave paintings. And you can see how the people look like they're playing some kind of instruments. Then in different parts of the world, people make different music. This is in Tibet. Now look how he's dressed, and now look at this instrument he's playing. Kind of a drum, it has some Chinese words, and he plays it with this stick that must be bamboo. Now in this one, this one is in the Caribbean islands. This person is wearing something very strange under his head, and he's playing some kind of shakers here. I was trying to get pictures with people making music. Okay, now look at this one. This is in the Middle East. People dress very differently and they play these drums they made up. I think it's in the Middle East. Look how people dress very differently. All of these are primitive times. Of course, these people live today, but in some parts of the world, people still live in primitive conditions. Some parts of the world are not like here where we have houses and all that. In some parts of the world, like in in Africa and different parts, people still live in nature and they still live like that. Here's another one of those paintings, and look how this person, see how they made him, and he's kind of playing some kind of flute. So these are primitive cultures. How about instruments? How did they make their instruments? There were no pianos, no guitars. So people made their instruments with their hands and only with things they find in nature. I have a lot of primitive instruments I want to show you. I'll show you just a few today. Look at this instrument. It sounds really nice. Listen to this. Do you know what it's made out of? Bamboo. This is a big piece of bamboo. Bamboo is hollow inside, and they just made these carvings like this, and then when you play them, they sound like this. This one is from Mexico. This one is the same thing, but from Guatemala. It says here Guatemala. Now this one is nice because they color it. See how they color it? Sorry. But it's the same idea. It's a piece of bamboo. In the American Indians, they made these kind of shakers. These are from the American Indians. This is made out of, it looks like a baseball, but it's made out of leather, of animal skin. And I don't know how they make it so hard, and I don't know how they make it so round. But this is the way they made their shakers. And this is an American Indian drum. Just a piece of wood. And what's this? Animal skin. See, animal skin looks like this. And then they play them really nicely. So every time I'm going to talk to you more and more about primitive music and about primitive instruments, and I'll show you some more instruments from my big collection.